Welcome, gamers, to an emotional roller coaster ride through the post-apocalyptic world of The Last of Us Part 2. Developed by Naughty Dog and published by Sony Interactive Entertainment, this highly anticipated sequel takes players on a journey of survival, revenge, and redemption in a world ravaged by a deadly fungal infection. Brace yourselves for heart-pounding action, gut-wrenching choices, and an unforgettable narrative experience unlike any other. So grab your weapons, steel your nerves, and prepare to confront the darkness that lies within us all. The Last of Us Part 2 is the follow-up to the critically acclaimed The Last of Us, which was released in 2013 on the PlayStation 3. Developed by Naughty Dog, the studio behind the Uncharted series, The Last of Us received widespread praise for its gripping storyline, rich characters, and immersive gameplay. With Part 2, Naughty Dog aimed to build upon the success of the original while pushing the boundaries of storytelling in video games even further. Led by director Neil Druckmann and a team of talented developers, the studio spent years crafting a deeply emotional and morally complex narrative that challenges players' perceptions of right and wrong in a harsh and unforgiving world. Set in a world decimated by a fungal infection known as the cordyceps brain infection, The Last of Us Part 2 takes place 5 years after the events of the first game. Players once again assume the role of Ellie, a young woman immune to the infection, as she sets out on a quest for vengeance against those who wronged her. Along the way, players will encounter a diverse cast of characters, including old friends and new allies, each with their own motivations and moral dilemmas. As they journey through the ruins of civilization, players will uncover dark secrets, face difficult choices, and confront the harsh realities of survival in a world where every decision comes with consequences. The Last of Us Part 2 offers a visceral and immersive gameplay experience that seamlessly blends action, stealth, and exploration. Players must navigate treacherous environments, scavenge for resources, and outsmart or outgun hostile human survivors and infected creatures alike. The game's combat mechanics are brutal and realistic, with visceral melee combat and tense gunfights that require quick thinking and precise timing. Additionally, the game features a robust crafting system that allows players to craft weapons, ammunition, and makeshift tools using materials found throughout the world. With its challenging gameplay and deep mechanics, The Last of Us Part 2 keeps players on the edge of their seats from start to finish. Visually, The Last of Us Part 2 is a breathtaking masterpiece, featuring stunningly realistic graphics and meticulously detailed environments. From the overgrown ruins of Seattle to the snow-covered landscapes of Wyoming, every location is rendered with jaw-dropping attention to detail, immersing players in a world that feels both hauntingly beautiful and terrifyingly real. The character models are equally impressive, with lifelike animations and expressions that convey a range of emotions from joy to despair. And then there's the music, composed by Gustavo Santaolalla. The soundtrack is a hauntingly beautiful mix of atmospheric melodies and haunting vocals that perfectly complement the game's emotional narrative. Together, the graphics and music of The Last of Us Part 2 create an audio-visual experience that is truly unforgettable. The atmosphere of The Last of Us Part 2 is one of relentless tension, punctuated by moments of heartache and hope. From the eerie silence of abandoned buildings to the adrenaline-fueled chaos of intense firefights, every moment is filled with a palpable sense of danger and uncertainty. The game's environments are hauntingly beautiful yet utterly unforgiving, with crumbling buildings, overgrown vegetation, and the constant threat of danger lurking around every corner. The sound design further enhances the atmosphere, with the distant howls of infected creatures, the crackle of gunfire, and the mournful strains of the soundtrack adding to the sense of dread and desperation. In The Last of Us Part 2, every decision weighs heavily on the player, as they struggle to survive in a world where trust is rare and betrayal is commonplace. As a fan of the original Last of Us, I had high expectations for Part 2, and I'm pleased to say that it did not disappoint. The game's gripping storyline, intense gameplay, and emotional depth kept me glued to the screen from beginning to end. The character development is top-notch, with Ellie's journey of revenge and redemption serving as a powerful and thought-provoking exploration of morality and human nature. While the game's darker themes and mature content may not be for everyone, those who can appreciate a well-crafted narrative and immersive gameplay experience will find much to love in The Last of Us Part 2. Pros: compelling storytelling. The Last of Us Part 2 features a gripping narrative that explores complex themes of revenge, forgiveness, and the human condition. Immersive gameplay. The game's intense combat, challenging puzzles, and open-ended exploration keep players engaged and on the edge of their seats. Stunning graphics and music. With its breathtaking visuals and hauntingly beautiful soundtrack, The Last of Us Part 2 sets a new standard for audio-visual excellence in gaming. Emotional depth, the game's richly developed characters and morally ambiguous storyline offer a thought-provoking exploration of the human experience. Replay value, with multiple difficulty settings, collectibles to find, and branching story paths, The Last of Us Part 2 offers plenty of reasons to revisit its world long after the credits roll. Cons: controversial story choices. Some players may find certain story elements and character decisions to be divisive or controversial, leading to mixed reactions among fans. Lengthy cutscenes. The game features lengthy cutscenes and dialogue sequences that some players may find excessive or disruptive to the pacing of the gameplay. Steep difficulty spikes. Certain sections of the game can be frustratingly difficult, especially on higher difficulty settings, leading to moments of frustration and repetition for some players. Linear level design. While the game offers some opportunities for exploration, its overall level design can feel somewhat linear and restrictive compared to other open-world games in the genre. Lack of innovation. Despite its strengths, The Last of Us Part 2 doesn't necessarily push the boundaries of the gaming medium or introduce many new gameplay mechanics or innovations. In conclusion, The Last of Us Part 2 is a masterpiece of storytelling, gameplay, and audio-visual design that pushes the boundaries of what video games can achieve as a medium. While it may not be without its flaws, its strengths far outweigh its weaknesses, making it a must-play for fans of narrative-driven games and mature storytelling. From its gripping storyline and intense gameplay to its stunning graphics and haunting soundtrack, The Last of Us Part 2 is an unforgettable experience that will stay with players long after the credits roll. So if you're ready to embark on an emotional journey through the apocalypse, look no further than The Last of Us Part 2.